it was nice, Miss. I was hearing the entire discussion, and most of these businesses, what black box other areas are doing on this part of it, they are pretty mature in terms of areas that they're focusing on. So my job in terms of building this IoT portfolio part of it is a bit different in that way that everything out here is new, and even to an extent the industry is also new. So I would try to restrict my discussion in terms of things that I have, things that I want to have, and end of the day, what do I need and what do I bring out? This is the four areas which I would try to concentrate, because I do not have too much of legacy data to share at this point. So quickly on to the topic. IoT is something which is on everybody's mind. Everybody understands that what IoT can do and what is the potential of that industry in total. So I'm not going into that depth, and Roberto also on that day had a big session on that part of it in terms of the macro views of it. I will concentrate what we are trying to do in terms of the drive for the transformation part of it. So as you can see that we have certain existing products out here. I will go into more detail on this. And what we're doing is that we have already asked for some capex in terms of making them ready for global areas and some marketing and branding. And who needs our products? Generally, these are industries, buildings, healthcare, logistics, retail. And we have to increase our geographical presence. Basically, it's matching up these two areas is what I am looking at in terms of bringing in the growth on the IoT side. A quick bit on the technical part of it. What are my strategic calls on this? Because what I understand is that in terms of engaging into different geographies, the first important thing that I have is to tap onto the markets where we are already present for our other products and try to extend that base for whatever products that we bring in as a new product into the system. That reduces the marketing spend also, and that reduces the time to market also, provided the products are all working in the right manner. This bit of internal selling is also one of my hidden agenda for today. So I have a three pillar strategy out here. One is the product basket expansion. Currently, we are into these three areas, that is LT, BLE, and GNSS. And we plan to expand into three more, LoRa, NB-IoT, and SATCOM over a period of time. And increasing the geographical presence, this is a very important part. And vertical integration, how many of them, after we have the product line as the same, how we can vertically integrate into different areas in that way, which can bring in a wider market for us. So that remains the focus for me. A quick bit again on this. I am present on LTE, BLE, and GNSS. These three I have not done yet. Industry-wise, this is the same industries where we possibly go with the cable, we go with the KVM, we go with the AV solutions. So structurally, that's not too much of a difference in terms of the type of market that I'm approaching. One of them is gateway with sensor interface plus edge computing. We don't have this product, so we might do a third-party sourcing of this product, but currently I do not have a clear understanding of this, but this becomes an important part of my product portfolio, so I will have to touch on that. Endpoint devices with sensors. This is the area which I am focusing on. We already have developed something on this area. And when we are saying this, this is not integrated with the solution. So whenever we are doing a marketing on this, it is important to note that any endpoint devices with sensors that plug on to an IoT network, they are targeted to the system integrators. So if I have a device like this one, the alertware part of it, or any of these devices, we give them with the SDK for that, for them to integrate into their solution. So for the marketing aspect of this is a very important marketing which we want to do targeted towards the system integrators who build their own solutions on top of our product. Second one is the other one part of it where I give a complete turnkey solution on this, an IoT platform with a verticalized dashboard to sell on SaaS model to system integrators or clients. Let's read it like that. To system integrators or the clients. So here I give the hardware, I give the software, I give the cloud access, and I give a complete solution onto this. So marketing wise, we will first work on this area, that is endpoint devices with sensors, and gradually for each and every vertical that are interesting to us, we would come out with complete products, which are products as a hardware, products as a solution. So these two together will happen. So step one, we will do endpoint devices with sensors, and we will actually market it to system integrators, and they will finally take it onto the market as a final solution. Second one, we will give it as total one solution. Please do stop me and ask questions wherever is required on this. So these are my 4 revenue pillars. This is important for me to push through to everybody. One is alertware IoT beacons. This is a cross-domain part of it. Standalone hardware. This is marketed through system integrators, comes with Android and iOS SDK. So this is where I am in my global plans. This features a lot. For the FY, next FY part of it, this is something which is featuring a lot in my current scheme of things. Second pillar is the alertware SaaS products. Here we would bring up our own solutions. So manufacturing, energy, healthcare, logistics, buildings, we are targeting some of this. So here we are giving a hardware plus cloud software for verticals with SaaS revenue. So this is the second phase of it. This is 1, this is 2. These are mobility products. These are required for container, covered truck, cold chain products with SaaS revenue. Here we are targeting markets like mobility, logistics, and industrial safety. Out of which Jido we are going to market on an international platform. Magic, I am still undecided. Possibly I will stick to current comfort zone of India because I have a limited budget for development. I want to stick to that part. So maybe it's only Jido that we take on this, and we are already working with different system integrators on this. Will be sold to the system integrator channel, but we will also have our own software solution for this. This is a area where we are already in. This gives us maximum of whatever business that we do today. This comes from here. We will go to global on this, but we would not use the standard Marcom channels for this. We will have a discussion on this part of it because this market doesn't require mass marketing. These are satellite-based positioning systems. This is required for infrastructural and national resources. We will go to select markets, pick up distributors, and move into those markets through the system. So this doesn't require a gross marketing system like what we do for the first 3 part of it, and it will be more targeted towards certain areas. Just a quick snap of the competition levels of the pillars. When we talk about a cross-domain alertware IoT beacons, because BLE is an exploding market right now. Bluetooth Low Energy is actually the fastest way to set up a network and send minimal amount of data, which makes sense to an organization. So these are the people who are already leading the pack. There are multiples of them. I have just picked up some of them. And when we go to the SaaS products part of it, which incorporates the beacons and then create a network and create a solution, now anybody on the top of the list in terms of SIs, they're all there. On the Jido and Magic category, we are encountering this kind of competition on this. And GNSS products, all of the competitors are more than $10 billion, each of them. So we have a price difference on that part of it. We are a challenger to them. So we would be entering into select markets on this.
May I quickly ask a question? Because I'm looking at that and I really don't know a lot about the IoT industry. But just from looking at this is a lot of new markets, at least for the black box, let's say the traditional black box TPS organization. And if I'm looking at the competitors, these are big names, right? So these have already a lot of market penetration. So in terms of USPs that Blackbox brings overall across all of these pillars that you're describing here, is price the most relevant one? Or are we also looking at other USPs that allows us to tackle guys like Motorola, for example, or Bosch, or these kind of big names?
That's a nice question, Daniel. If we go into the Honeywells and the Motorola's on this, obviously price is a very relevant part of it, but product-wise, many of these products that we are talking of currently in the GDO segment, there is a mobility segment part of it. Uh, this Honeywell and Motorola services the topmost end of the market, and we are not targeting that part of the market at all. We are targeting the mid sector of it. And the cost of the solution is one point of it. The other part of it is most of these items are made in China, and quality wise, they are more or less of an even standard. Whatever we produce and whatever they will produce, there is not too much of a difference. Plus, there is an interesting feature, because I will come to this product and explain that to you, that this interesting feature that we have out here, which is basically an e-lock mechanism for this is not available with Honeywell or Motorola on this. It is available with Traxsense, it is available with Orbcom and companies like this. So this gives us an edge in terms of the capability as an USP and the way we are approaching the market for this one. And for the IoT beacons part of it, I think it is more a supply gap, because the market is moving too fast on this part of it, and kind of work that we do on this will be exactly comparable with what they have on the field right now.
Okay, so we are sort of also filling a gap where others cannot like provide in time. Did I understand that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So I will just go ahead and describe this a bit more for people to understand, because this is a very interesting marketing use case also. This is the revenue pillar 1 and 2 where we are talking of. So if you look at the this market came into action something around 2017 onwards, where the conventional Bluetooth market was replaced on the industrial side with the BLE part, which is Bluetooth low energy part. And since then, it is moving at a very, very fast pace. Means I have taken the lower part of the story, and it is moving in a very, very fast pace in terms of creating on-the-fly networks and transforming the IoT system, because we never had something which is as low cost as BLE to create a network for minimal data sizes. So we are tapping onto that growth potential as on date, because that requires more understanding in terms of the kind of product. And the USP out here, which we bring into the market, is our capability to develop the hardware, capability to develop the software on top of it, and at the same point of time, our global access, which makes us in a different league from the cheaper versions which are available in cheaper economies. So this three together becomes a major USP, and the flexibility that we bring in terms of our capability to develop our own hardware. So this is something which says that yes, this is a good market to be in, and there is good amount of potential in terms of the growth in the global market on this. So to get more direct on this, what are the problems that we are solving through this? This basically will convert into individual SKUs, which we bring into the market. Last year, when we had started work on the BLE, with the COVID situation coming in, we started focusing a bit more on the other side of the story, that is the social distancing part that remains. But original plan for entering into BLE was never COVID. It was a more thought out situation in terms of going forward with the overall structure of where the IoT market is moving on. So to keep it quickly, condition monitoring of rotating machines using vibration and temperature is for the industry part of it. Ambient monitoring using temperature and humidity. So this is required in all warehouses. This is required in different kind of factories. This is a very important part of the story. And I think we also have the alert works part of it for data centers. So we are very clear on this part of it, that this will go into certain areas which might not be touched on that area. Asset tracing using BLE network, going very fast. Freezer and heat chamber monitoring of big retail chains, of big factories, pharmacy chains. This is very much in vogue right now. Productivity monitoring using BLE RTLS. This is into the RTLS segment, where we are tracing people moving in a warehouse, working in a warehouse, trying to understand the productivity. We are already working on a case in a big warehouse in Singapore with the team in Singapore on this. Occupancy monitoring using BLE RTLS, again RTLS, zone-wise coverage where people are in hospitals, facilities like this. And most of them you can understand very clearly that what is the use case. Smaller use cases but very important in terms of the silos of information which exist today. Waste level monitoring using ultrasound. Yes, we already have been working on this case. We have this is something where you have an airport and you want to maintain the fill level of the different dustbins which are out there. So that brings out the customer experience part of it. So this is another use case on this. And generally, when you combine all of them, they look very big and strong on this. Healthcare is another interesting segment that we are working on. Most of them are same. Now, what we have is one single product and we just add up the vibration and temperature. Somewhere temperature and humidity. Somewhere it's only the asset tracing using the beacon format. Somewhere we are using, cold chain monitoring. We are only using the temperature. So generally, the product is still the same. We are just making some changes on this. This is the base product. And as I said, that each of them will be an SKU. This is something which I will have to discuss with Doug, Gert, and rest of the marketing team also. But I've been working deeply on this, that how other people are presenting it. So these are basically boxes where you can have 50 beacons, 4 gateways, everything inbuilt into it, which will be a part of not the standalone. This is a part of the solution approach that we are giving. So this has everything together to just go ahead and pick it up and then say that I will do condition monitoring using rotating machines. Pick up SKU number 1, which has the alertware beacons with the vibration and the temperature part of it. Included is the gateway, so you can quickly run up a network and you have my dashboard over there and you can get started within 1 or 2 days in terms of getting that information for predictive monitoring of your machines. So conceptually, we are changing from the base part of it. This is what was in our plan. We will have to do further work on it, but we will quickly go into the packaging and the rest of the stuff to make this more easily understandable. This is for the BLE part of it. And we have already placed quite a few interesting proposals on this because hardware plus software cloud plus global access is our USP on this. Now, as you see, we give the hardware, we give the cloud part of it. This is the dashboard that we have already built. We have tied up with companies like UB.Dots, Avnet, and different others, Microsoft Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, where we are creating these dashboards which come in as a part of the pack. And then the video wall solution, we have just completed the training on this and we are putting this as a part of the proposal because any data that we bring out has to be visualized. And we are combining these three together to make a complete solution platform plan for multiple markets in India that we are currently approaching at this stage. Just some representative dashboards which we are already done. This is on Avnet platform on Microsoft Azure that we have already done deployed for energy monitoring in power utilities. So this productization of this will happen and will come into different markets. This is done as a POC right now. We are approaching the order for this. This is for worker productivity solution in a warehouse. This is for forest fire monitoring in forest, where we have a different architecture for this. Is built on open source. These are already deployed, more to come on the same platform. So our plan is to continue the momentum in the LPWAN space. And if you see that today we are at BLE endpoint devices, next we are into LoRa and 5G and NB-IoT in FY23, and then SATCOM for telemetry in FY24. All of them are growing at a very strong and feverish pace, including the LoRaWAN and the NB-IoT. So we have a very clear task cut in our hand in terms of how to go forward with this. So quickly on to revenue pillar number 3. This is towards the container business, power truck and cold chain. So we have an e-lock feature out here. So you can lock, unlock the entire thing out here. So access control of the container is retained with the person who has booked the container, and also the tracking and relevant ideas are going into it. For shortage of time, I'm not going into much more detail, but it comes with different other sensors also. So once you are sending it out, you have the data about different kind of stuff which is going on to this. This is currently our topmost selling product in India. This is for personal safety and also the worker safety solutions for lone workers. So this has a fall down sensor. If somebody falls down, then emergency calls are generated into different areas. Currently, we are still in a discussion whether to go ahead because this is working on a 2G platform. And this is our GNSS portfolio. This, as I said, is this is one of the biggest IP products that we have. So quickly, I will gloss over this. So in terms of the launch plan, this SQ level launch plans we will share on this, but generally it is around Q2 end that we start bringing up solution platforms. But on Q1 itself, we will have standalone items which will be declared on the market for system integrators to come into. Geographical areas, India and SERC remains a very important part. ASEAN, we are already marketing on that area. To an extent, we are already doing the MENA part of it is a very important part from some of the portfolios that we have. And then we would be reaching onto the American market in terms of Q3, Q4. That is the plan for us in terms of whatever we are looking at it. How do we reach the market? We have 4 different parts: active marketing, digital marketing, partner marketing, countries in focus I mentioned. Very important for us is cloud partners because they bring in most of the customers that we get in. And then obviously we have the trade shows, client meets. So we will have a detailed outlook on this. Not going into the details, I can share this. So this is our plan of going into how do we reach the market and different product-wise GTMs that we have worked on, that how the entire thing happens on this. So as you can see that we have understanding of a target of $3 million, but internally we are looking at a target of $4.29 million on this product. And FY23, we expect a steep growth on this, and FY24, we maintain a growth pattern on this. This is irrespective of the new products launched in FY23 and 24. We have not considered this because we will get into the other spaces at this point of time. So currently we have a modest plan around that, and to maintain a high EBITDA because we would be manufacturing and developing both software and hardware. There's an aspiration. This is to the team that we would finally require, if we go into IoT, we would require a center of excellence for software design because whatever we do, end of the day, it will go on to that platform. So that is basically what I had to push on, and let's have any questions on this part or what we can address on this.
Thanks, Amit. Good stuff. Thank you. Any questions quickly for Amit before we wrap up the call?
I have a question on, well, we're going to talk offline, of course, a lot, Amit. And we, when we are going to expand to other regions outside of India or Southeast Asia, then we definitely need to talk about producing this training content for existing salespeople. But I got a question on the regions. You showed a slide where you had regions on. I didn't see on the first glance, maybe I missed it, but I didn't see Europe there. Is it the intention not to introduce?
The intention is 100% to introduce it into Europe, but look, I have budgetary constraints and also bandwidth constraints in terms of certifications that we can do. So I've been studying the European certifications, and there are numerous which are coming into the picture. So I don't think that I would be ready for European markets with all certifications before that. This is my current understanding on this.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Any other questions for Amit? Okay, great. And Amit, you said you'll send the deck out, yeah? So, okay, great. Well, thanks everyone. We're about a minute or two over, but thanks for hanging on, and appreciate everyone's time. We'll get the deep dive session scheduled here as soon as possible. So,
thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day or evening.
Thanks, all of you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.